Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Allison Smith. I'm a pianist and a piano teacher, and thanks so much for joining me today. For the past few months, I've been creating videos all about practice routines, how to develop a good plan for your piano practice, tips and tricks that I've learned how to practice the piano efficiently and effectively, and you guys seem to have loved it. In fact, the other day, I just hit 500 subscribers for creating content just like this. I just recently hit my 6-year milestone on teaching piano professionally. I never thought I would say that, but since it's December and people are feeling very nostalgic, I thought I would take a trip down memory lane and share with you guys how it all began. So let's get started. When I was 8 years old, my parents enrolled me in a music school near where I live, and they taught different instruments, but of course I took the piano, and my parents invested a lot of money in this electric upright weighted keyboard that had 88 keys, and it was a Yamaha upright. My piano lesson journey consisted of 8 years studying with one teacher by the name of Miss Natasha, whom I love dearly and am so thankful for. She trained me under a very strict method, and so every Monday I never had the problem of practicing because I was always dead scared to not impress her every Monday. So I would put in my 30 minutes every day because I didn't want any problems on Monday practice sessions with her. During my time in this music school, we had lots of performance opportunities. So we had 2 annual piano recitals, one in June and one in December. And then we also had nursing home opportunities and competitions. And the competitions was really what got me to practice because those stressed me out so much because I knew that whatever I played, I would have to play in front of 2 judges, and then they would critique me and all this stuff. And the sense of competition I loved. I thrived on this idea of, ooh, I can win something if I play really well. So that was a very big motivation for me. And I just grew with every single performance. I wanted to do better and better. And I was not some sort of a maestro. I just loved the piano. It wasn't like I was some sort of child prodigy, because I wasn't, but I just loved the idea of learning and growing in my piano learning. During my 8-year journey with my music school and with my teacher, I grew to love the process of practicing the piano. I loved brainstorming, like, okay, let's play a new piece. And then I loved the wealth of inspiration that my teacher gave me on how to practice this piece, different ways I could interpret the piece, and how I can add my own layers on it and everything like that, and then being able to perform it in front of people. I loved the sense of accomplishment. Over the past couple of months, you work on a piece and then you get to perform it in front of people, and then you get to restart the whole process. Now that you have some idea of my story with the piano, I wanted to talk about how I got interested in teaching. And I was trying to pinpoint this, and I think it was all when I was in 5th grade. I gave a presentation on, believe it or not, Marie Curie, the scientist. And I got up in front of the class and I had my PowerPoint. I had worked so hard on my PowerPoint, and I started just presenting to the class. And I thought to myself, wow, this is fun. I love being able to share my ideas about Marie Curie in front of the class. And I said, this is what I love. I love giving presentations. And so when I was in middle school, all I would do was I would just research different public speakers. I would listen to speeches. I would listen to TED Talks. That's all I did. I would just analyze, how do people talk more effectively? And I just loved it. I loved the idea of presentation. This developed in high school, where I took classes where I had the ability to research something and then present. So for example, I had a class called AP Seminar where we would research something extensively and then give a huge presentation on it in front of the class and in front of people, and they would ask questions and stuff like that. I took AP Biology where I would give presentations on different biological concepts. I don't know. One time I gave a whole presentation on cerebral palsy, and it wasn't that I was interested in cerebral palsy. I was interested in, how can I understand this whole idea and present it in a understandable way. And so I fell in love with this idea of presenting. But although I wanted to research all these concepts and teach them in front of the class and all these things, I wasn't really interested in any of the things I was actually studying. I wasn't interested in biology. I wasn't interested in all of the other things. I was just mostly interested in this whole concept of researching and presenting. So what I did was, since I wasn't interested in anything, I knew I was very artsy. So I took ceramics, I took creative design, I took creative writing, I did all of the art classes that my high school offered. I did jazz band and everything else. In my junior year of high school, I took AP Music Theory, and this class transformed the game for me. Although I took 8 years of piano lessons, I never really got the light bulb to hit. I understood how to practice the piano, I understood how to perform in front of people, but I didn't actually quite understand what was happening in my music. I didn't get it. For some reason, it didn't make any sense to me. But when I took some time during this AP Music Theory class to really dig deep and understand the foundational building blocks of music, I said, oh, this is making sense. It filled all of the holes that I had in my education that I didn't get from my teacher. And of course, when you're taking 30-minute, 45-minute, hour piano lessons, there is so much your teacher can only give you. So you kind of have to take the next step and say, I need to research some things for my own. A lot of the times people will take piano lessons and expect their teacher to solve all their problems for them, but that's not the case. For me, I had to be actively interested to go out and seek answers that I didn't understand. And so the AP Music Theory class really filled all of those holes for me. When I was a junior in high school, I ended up winning a small competition in my city, and then I ended up winning second in the state. So this gave me a lot of thrill, you know? When you win something, you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I won. And so my music school was equally impressed, and they decided to award me with a scholarship to a summer music program at a particular university. And so I went to that summer music camp, and for a week I stayed there. Everything was provided, food and everything. And I was introduced to a lady. And at that time, that summer music camp was, of course, advertising the music major program at this university and promoting their music program in general. And at this point in my life, I had never even considered the idea of majoring in music. That was never an idea. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know that people went to college and studied music. I had always heard, oh, you go to college, you study science or math or, some business. I never even considered the idea of getting a major in music. And I said, whoa, this is cool. And so then this lady took me over and she said, Allison, this is how I teach the piano to little children. I just see these 2 black keys, that's the dog house, and the 3 black keys is the people house. And I said, oh, wow, I could definitely do that. And so she was the first inspiration for me to teach the piano lesson. When I saw how easy it was, she made so much sense with the whole people house and everything. I said, yeah, I could do that. Because, at that time I was a junior in high school, I kind of needed a job, but I didn't even know how to drive a car. So how am I going to get a job when I can't even drive a car? I didn't even have a car at that time. And so I decided, yeah, that'd be cool to make a little bit of money and teach something. I still get that teaching desire out of me. I love playing the piano. I might as well get better at it by teaching it. And so I said, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. And at that time, I wanted to go and do some foreign travel before I went to college. And I wanted to do this foreign travel, but it was very expensive. And so I said, well, here's what I can do. I can start teaching piano lessons and then collect some of that money and put it towards this trip that I'm going to go on. And so what I did was I posted an ad on a neighborhood app that I'm a part of. And I said, hi, my name is Allison. I'm 16 years old and blah, blah, blah. And I'm charging $15 for an hour piano lesson. It was a half-hour piano and then a half-hour craft. And I did the half-hour craft so that I could entice parents to say, hey, this is like a 2-in-1 deal, a piano lesson and a craft. And so I literally killed myself. Every week I would think of new crafts to do and piano lessons, and I had no idea what I was teaching. I knew I was going to do the John Thompson series, but trust me, I learned very quickly that teaching is a skill in itself. So I have no idea what I was teaching in that first year of piano lessons. And of course, the more you do things, the better you get, right? Well, that year it was really rough. I don't know what I was teaching. I mean, I was just teaching all sorts of nonsense, but you have to start somewhere. So be encouraged. If you want to start something, it's probably not going to be ideal, but you will get there in time, as I have. And I'm only on year 6. Like I'm still a newbie at this, but my first year was really rough. And so people started coming over my house. I wasn't even driving. I wasn't driving to Tacos for Life or Chick-fil-A. I said, okay, this is great. I don't have to be a waitress because there's no way I could ever do that. I can't carry things. I'm kind of clumsy. Oh, it would just be horrible. I just loved the idea of kids coming over from all over the place, coming to my house. I can't believe my mom let that happen. And she was okay with it. And so this room right here was a piano lesson room where I just taught piano lessons right here. And this room has been through a lot of transformation over the years. COVID hit my senior year of high school. And I remember all of a sudden I had no more school. Class was canceled and I was stuck at home for an entire year. So all I would do was teach piano lessons and do art projects outside. I'd paint. I even wrote a book. Please order my book on Amazon. I'll post a link in the description. But that year I just basically did art projects. I taught piano lessons. I read books. I did everything I loved. Actually, I know COVID was a bad thing, but it was one of the best years of my life because I really just explored the things that I was interested in. And then it came time for me to enroll in college. I didn't really have any advisors in my life. No one said, okay, so when you go to college, you do this, or this is what grade you need to get on your SAT, and this is how you apply for scholarships. I didn't really understand the whole college thing. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So you know how most people apply to like multiple colleges? Well, since COVID was happening, everything was online. So I said, why am I going to waste my money going to another state? That doesn't make any sense. I'll just go to college right down the road. And so that's what I did. I applied to one college and hoped for the best. And so I said, okay, what am I going to do? What major am I going to pick? And so I remembered that scholarship program that I was part of. I said, well, let's do this. I'll pick the major that I know I'll be a starving artist because I knew as a musician, it was just the idea that I had. I never wanted to be a piano teacher. I said, no, this is just me having fun. This is not going to be a for real thing. So I just said, okay, I'm going to do a major that I love and then a smart major. I'm going to do a finance degree. And I said, yeah, that will make me money. So I'll do a major that will make me money and then a major that will make me happy. So I had these two ideas. And so I went through college and I decided, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go the finance route because I want to make money in my life. Well, when I was in college, I finally got my first big girl job that made me $10 an hour. Less than I was making piano lessons, which is so funny. Why would I do that? I don't know. I was considering it as an internship, and it was an accounting internship. And trust me, the people there were so nice. Nothing against them. They taught me a lot. And actually, I'm very grateful that I had that accounting internship because it taught me a lot about bookkeeping and how small businesses work and all that. But I realized I am not able to do this. I'm too artsy of a person. I cannot work at this job 9 to 5 doing basically data entry, sitting at a computer. It was just not for me. I could not do it. And I was looking at these ladies and they had done it for like 20 years. And I said, no way, I'd rather die than do this. And so I only lasted one summer. Honestly, I was hoping that they would fire me, but they never did. For some reason, they really liked me. So I ended up saying, okay, I think I'm going to concentrate on this piano lessons thing because this is what I can do. Well, They never fired me, so I ended up quitting. You would have thought I would have learned from that accounting internship that this was not for me, but I was dead set on still making it work in the finance degree since I had invested so much time on it. Well, one day it hit me after doing all this research about other careers. Like I had applied for other jobs in banks and everything, and I got rejected from every single application I turned in. One day it all clicked for me. After going back and forth, am I going to do the finance route? Am I going to do the piano route? Am I going to choose this will give me money, this is the stable thing, this is what everybody does? Or am I going to do something that I actually enjoy, something that makes me happy? Well, it all started with a homework assignment for an operations management class, and I hated this class. I had literally the worst teacher ever. She didn't know anything about operations management. In my opinion, she should not have been teaching that class at all. I gave her a bad review on Rate My Professor. Please forgive me, but she should not have been teaching that class. I could have taught it better. But she gave us a homework assignment, and I couldn't understand the homework assignment. I spent hours just thinking about this homework assignment. I couldn't complete it. Well, I had to come downstairs because I was working on it upstairs, and I had to come downstairs because I knew I had a student coming over during that time. And I was kind of saying, oh, I just really need to get this homework assignment. I don't have time to teach this piano lesson. Well, the student came over, and I walked down the stairs kind of in a bad mood because of this homework assignment. And I remember as I was sitting here with the student, I had so much peace. And I said, wow. And the student was so wonderful to speak to. It was such a wonderful time. And we explored different musical concepts. And I said, oh my goodness. I walked back upstairs to go back to that homework assignment. And I said, no, this is not it. It is what happened downstairs. That's what I need to be doing. This operations management, this finance, this business major that I'm doing, I cannot do this. I can't look at this computer. I can't look at this Excel sheet. I can't do it. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I don't want to be in this constant stress. I'm sure it's for everyone else, but it was not for me. And I knew in that moment that I would have rather been with the student downstairs. And so from that moment on, I said, okay, I will finish out this academic year and this program that I've gotten myself into with the music and the finance degree and everything else. And I finished strong. I graduated with my 2 degrees, and I ended up not pursuing the finance route. I said, okay, I'm going to go hard on the piano thing because this is what I love. And so I started teaching piano lessons as just a way to make some money for some foreign travel, a way for me to not work at Chick-fil-A because I didn't have a car, a way for me to just make some extra cash. But I had done it all throughout my college. And actually, I realized I did not enjoy my business classes at all. It was all of my piano classes I loved. I loved my music theory classes, my aural skills classes, my piano lessons one-on-one with my teacher. His insights, his wealth of inspiration, it was so valuable to me. And I had learned much more in my music lessons than I ever did in any of my business classes. Of course, I'm glad though, as I'm reflecting, I'm glad that I took the business classes because it gave me that grounding. Okay, this is how business works. These are the different vocab that people use. So now when people talk to me, I can understand what they're talking about. I'm not a complete dummy when it comes to all of this because I was trained in it in college. But I knew where my joy was, and it was in those music classes. And the funny part was, my school was not known for music at all. This was not a music school. In fact, my school didn't even have a music school. It was classified under the general arts program. And that meant that the classes were very small because there was not a lot of music students in my school. So most of my music classes had like 10 people in them. One time I think I even had a class of 3 people. And I think that was my piano pedagogy class where I learned how to teach piano more effectively. So I just realized through all of that where my heart was, and it was teaching piano lessons. It was being able to explore different concepts with children. I knew that children could never stress me out. I think I've only had a couple of instances where some crazy things would happen. I'll give you one story. One time a student came over to my house and she said that she was going to put a curse on my house. Well, I got rid of her. But, and then I had another student who almost like, took the chair and like almost threw it on the piano. Well, he was gone too. So there have been rare occurrences where, me and certain students didn't quite get along. But for the most part, I have thoroughly enjoyed all 6 years of my piano lessons. I have loved every single one, and every piano lesson taught me something on how to become a better teacher. And so I created this YouTube channel to just basically teach more piano lessons, create more presentations on things that I enjoy, and hopefully you guys are getting some valuable tips. I hope you guys took something away from this story, and if you guys made it to the end of this video, thanks so much for listening to this story of mine. It really is, I'm so grateful for your support and for subscribing and for liking and for commenting on this channel. I've really had a lot of fun creating videos, just sharing my tips and tricks on how to play the piano. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye everybody.